Happy Thai Pongal. As Uncle said, I'm Shakishnan. I'm a priest at the Ealing Kanakadugri Amman Temple, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. I would like to share a few words for the youth, especially in English, about Thai Pongal. Generally, we think Thai Pongal is a farming, as the person before said, is a farming celebration where we thank for the end of the harvest and thank Surya Bhagwan. But there is a lot more tradition behind it. In fact, Thai Pongal is a 4-day festival actually, and the first day itself we say is Bogi in India, and I'm sure we have that in Sri Lanka as well. And what happens is on Bogi we thank Indra, the god of the clouds, for providing us with the rain during the season of farming. And of course, rain is essential for farming and growing crops. So that's the first day. And on this day, there is a celebration where we burn old items. Now, there's two meanings to this. The actual reason why they did this at that time was the end of Bogi is generally when the winter is ending. So to stay warm for that season, they would burn these clothes to create a bonfire atmosphere. And also, there's also an astrological impact on this, which leads on to the second day, and Thai Pongal is when the astrological meaning behind that is we go from Dakshinayinam to Uttarayanam, which is basically when the sun is going from the south to the north. And this is a very auspicious time, and a lot of the auspicious events happen in this period, in Uttarayanam. For 6 months, the sun is in the north, and this is where we have very auspicious events coming on. And leading back to the event, that's why we have the burning of the clothes. Also, it symbolizes karma, the bad karma going, and a new start, a new life to that. So that's the second day, that's the main sort of day we have is Thai Pongal. Then the third day is referred to as Martu Pongal. Martu means cow bull in Tamil. And there's a religious story for this as well, and why the actual significance of the bull and the cow came along was because in the past Shiva sent his bull, Rishabhavahana, we say in Sanskritam, which means bull, Bhasva, to come to this earth to tell the individuals here that you should have an oil bath every day and eat only once a month. But unfortunately, the Rishabhavahana misconducted the information and said that you should eat every day, have an oil bath once a month. And as a punishment for this, Shiva, what he did was, you are going to stay on the earth from now on and plow the fields for the farmers and help them. So that is actually why we have cut the cattle here. So those who didn't know this, especially the youth, that's the reason why we say Martu Pongal. And on what happens on Martu Pongal is there's a lot of events that happen. We pray to the Rishabhavahana, which is the bull, and we thank them for what he's done for us. That's the third day, sorry. And then we have the final day, which is Kanam Pongal, and that the actual significance to that is when the women of the household, they do it for siblingship, for their brothers and sisters. Before they have a bath in the morning, they, if you have a turmeric leaf, they leave the behinds of the pongal, the rice, and any other savories and sweets, and they put that on the turmeric leaf as an offering to Surya. And this is supposed to bring about good in the brothers and the sisters of the family. So that is the reason why. So those are the 4 days of Pongal. And as I said, there's an astrological impact of that as well, is because it's almost a cleansing. We're going from Dakshinayinam, which is generally seen as the negative aspect of the year, to Uttarayanam. Uttarayanam is it means in Sanskrit it means the north. It's when the sun is coming to the north, and they're very auspicious. So that's the actual event of Pongal. So beyond this, what I'd like the youth to take to home is, and as priest that I've discovered over the years, is that even though Pongal is largely, of course, a very agricultural based sort of ceremony, there's a lot of tradition behind it, and we should always thank not just God for what He's given to us, but everyone around us, because that's what makes Pongal a genuinely amazing ceremony, because there's loads of aspects of religion as well as culture with it. So thank you for having me once again. And I'd like to lead this onto a little song called Sudamayi. And the song is called Sudamayi Sudanidhi, and the ragam, I chose this ragam, it's Amritavashini ragam. And there's a story behind why I chose Amritavashini also, is because there was a composer once called Muktaswami Dikshita, any musicians would know. When he was going past a village in India, there was no rain in that village at all, so the crops was very hard for them to grow. And as I said, we thank Lord Indra, the god of the clouds, for the rain. So he needed, that village needed rain, they were in need of rain. And for that rain, what Muktaswami Dikshita was, he composed a song in Ragam Amrita Varshini. Again, in Sanskritam, Amritam means nectar and Varshini means rain. So generally, this actually happened when he made that song. Sweet rain started falling from the skies by Indra's blessings, and that village had nice crops for that year, which is also why I chose this song, Sudami in Ragam Amrita Varshini.